2, 1.
All right. Welcome to another week of Fragments Silicon reviews. Let's see. We got two this session. First up, we have a game called Rain World. Right. So this is a recently released what they call a survival platformer, and it's definitely a true statement. But more on that in bits.
That's an interesting genre variant.
Yeah, I'm like, believe me, you are doing some surviving.
Yes.
Right. A bit of I suppose a review note. Twilight Winter is going to be taking the lead on this one because he put in about 10 hours. I only got about an hour of playtime in, which is enough for impressions, but I don't think is enough for a proper review. There were a few factors behind this. One, I was having some technical issues with the game. At startup, the game was having problems starting up, mainly due to taking up a lot of computer resources. Like, I had to close my web browser and everything to get it started. Once I got into the game, it worked no problems, but it's like when it started up and like during cutscenes, it would take a lot of power. I have no idea what was behind that, and
Yeah,
it's
I
like
did notice that when I would start it up, it would take some time to get going.
But the other reason is like I wasn't a particular fan of the surviving. Like I'll be blunt. This game will kill you. It will kill you in a lot of ways. And you'll be an asshole about it. It's
like you're playing as some kind of slug cat thing. It seems like
you are actually playing as a slug cat. I'm like a species of creature that should not exist.
Well, if you fail at the game, they don't, right?
Well, it's like, it's like this is the cat. Yeah, let's take the cat and remove all of the evolutionary advantages to it.
I mean, it looks kind of like I would have guessed that it was a salamander if it didn't say the word slug cat, because there are some salamanders that look kind of cat-like but are slimy.
I suppose so, but I'm like, no, the name is actually literally slug cat. You are, I suppose, from what I've read, like the overall goal is you're looking for, your family. The problem is, you're in a very hostile world.
Yeah.
Both, as the tagline goes, you're both predator and prey. You're about mid-range in the food chain, as you will eat small creatures and indeed fruit. You're an omnivore, but you will also make a very tasty meal for very neon-colored lizards and surprise tentacles.
Yes.
I'm like,
oh boy, it goes hentai for a minute.
Are we talking about like the creepy, grippy hands and inversion tentacles, or?
No, we're talking they're disguised as poles, and they will fucking devour you when you jump on them.
Ah, that's not good.
Yeah.
Like
large stalks.
Yeah, it's like not a fan of that. developers.
Neither was I.
Now, it's one of the reasons why I stopped playing. I'll be honest. Like, yeah, I guess there were subtle tells, but it's like more than once I jumped to a thing and I'm like, oh shit, it's one of you. Now,
Yeah.
And it's one of those games where if you accidentally jump on, there's no way to save yourself, is there?
You can get free, but it's really difficult.
Yeah, I'm like, and you can kill them provided you know what they are, and if you have the right weapon. Yeah, so slug cats can also wield weapons, mostly rocks and spears, from what I saw.
Because both slugs and cats are well known for their ability to manipulate complex tools with the hands that they totally have.
Well, they're not complex tools; they're simple tools.
Still.
It's like, yeah, it's like well, they're simple enough for like primates to use. But like primates will use sticks to get food. But yeah, it's like slug cats are a tool using species of some sort. Also worth noting that you don't necessarily have to kill your enemies. You can give them food, and they'll leave you alone. Maybe even become your friends.
That's useful.
Yeah. Also, the game is on a fucking timer.
Yep. So you won't usually have time to go get them food and bring it or whatever.
Well, no. So what you're supposed to do, from segment to segment, is you're supposed to gather enough food, and then reach a hibernation room.
Yeah, you have to.
If you don't reach it in time, you're gonna get killed by a torrential rainfall.
Yeah, your goal is to acquire like a minimum of like 4 points of food, a maximum of 7, and then you go into shelter having rain.
Yeah, I'm like, I easily got the 7 points, but I'm like, apparently every time you die, it affects your karma. Like, which is good because I died, a good dozen times at least, just exploring the world. I'm like, I'll say it again. I wasn't a fan of this timer bullshit because I'm like, it really seemed to be antithetical to what the overall purpose of the game was. Go out and explore and survive.
And my favorite part is that they don't explain some of these things to you.
No, it's like this game also suffers from a crippling lack of direction. Like,
like you got a visible timer. It's in the bottom left-hand corner, but they don't tell you it's there. It only appears every now and then.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna be learning some of this shit the hard way.
Yeah, but it's seat of your pants.
Yeah, or you read, or you do research and read up on this. Like, yeah, and it's hibernation is not only how you advance the game, and it's how you save.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like it's like your goal is you get enough food, get to the hibernation chamber, do that enough times, and you'll actually advance to the next area. There are 12 in total.
Yeah, there's these gates that you open up. You can only open them up if you last long enough to open them. Like so many days, you reach a certain karma level, and once you get to that level, you go to the gate, and the gate opens up, and you can advance. But of course, if you die, you lose karma.
Yeah. It's like it's a shame because there's a lot to like here. Like, first of all, the game looks, just visually stunning. Like, and we've been in an era of truly great pixel art, and this one stands tall in that area.
Hmm.
It definitely does. It has
Now,
really
but-
wonderful environmental appearance.
yeah, I
Visuals.
also like how everything moves.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's really good. It's really good looking in motion, and this is the debut effort from developer Video Cult, who worked on the title here for 6 years.
Damn.
Like,
Mhm.
that's not a surprise. I mean, going back to our Owlboy retrospective or postmortem, whatever you want to call it, I'm like, that took them 8 years to develop. I'm
Mhm.
like, you know, it's like really gorgeous pixel art is a huge resource undertaking, which will take
Yeah.
time. I'm like, churning out something of this caliber, I am not shocked at all that it took 6 years to develop.
Yeah, I was about to say, you want to hear talk to somebody about pixel art taking time? Go talk to Barry.
We have.
I know.
Anyway, yeah. So this game's been in development for all that time, and I believe last year it was picked up by Adult Swim Games as you know their continuing push into many different fields. I mean, it's still weird that they're a real games publisher now, and
Uh-huh.
you know, it's like I think I've seen Rain World advertised on television as per their standard.
Mhm.
Yeah. I seem
No.
to as well.
I will
yeah.
say this looks less bad than the Rick and Morty thing that they just shoved out.
Oh, the Rick and Morty VR thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
the things are so different. I don't even know how you'd begin to compare them. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think
this-
there's any point in doing that.
Mm.
yeah, it's
It's
like
two different things but for two different things.
I'm like, you know, and you know, it's like I like the concept here. I liked exploring. I liked surviving against the different animals. You know,
Mhm.
like especially the lizards. And it's worth noting, well, some enemies are static. Like I said, when you know where the tentacles are, they'll always be there.
Yeah.
I'm like, but like the lizards, they're, I'm like, they're randomly generated.
Yeah, they're constantly on the move, and they will follow you if you're running from them, or they will
Yeah,
go to different areas.
Yeah, it's like they will use the same teleporters you do. Is what you know, though. You will be able to see them in use by their colors. Like if you see a purple thing, you'll probably want to run.
Mhm.
Like, controls are a bit slippery as well.
Yeah,
It's like,
Well, you
they-
are a slug.
yeah,
and I guess it kind of works in a way. Yeah, and you have to be really careful though, at times, because you can be like on a pole and be climbing up it, and if one wrong move, you could accidentally fall off.
Yeah.
Or when you're
And-
trying to crouch and jump, and you fall as well.
yeah, and there are different paths you can take. Like I saw achievements like you can be a carnivore, you can be an herbivore. Yeah, it's like reading up on things later on in the game. You can eat special plants that can give status effects such as slowing time. Got nowhere near that.
Yeah, they one of those didn't really help.
Like it's also got a very elaborate soundtrack, but I gotta admit, I'm having a hard time remembering. You know, because it's one of those things that's very atmospheric and ambient.
Yeah, there's another part of the game that immerses you into it.
And and I do know like there's a bigger story going on in the game, but
Mhm.
the question is how much of it is important, because Um, the original idea pitched for this game was a rat in Manhattan. Like, how to put that? The rat understands how to find food, hide, and live in the subway, but does not understand the subway's structuring purpose or why it was built.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in these ancient ruins, some post-apocalyptic thing, but since you're a slug cat, you really don't care about why they're there or what happened to the people living there. You're
So
busy.
it's for the player to appreciate or not. It's definitely irrelevant to the character.
Right, because you're not really playing a character, you're playing a animal who's trying to survive.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
As far as you're concerned, it's just another part of the world.
it's like you're more concerned about lunch, both getting lunch and becoming lunch. I think I've covered about all I can in this game. Twilight, you pick up things from here with your extended playtime.
Yeah, okay. Where do we begin? So we already covered the plot, the gameplay.
If you indeed have any.
Is there anything more interesting that happens more later on than it does early?
Nothing really all that noteworthy. Besides more hazards, bigger enemies that are trying to eat you, and more neutral creatures. And honestly, the game doesn't really change all that much after the first area. It's just more danger and more surviving. And you're same thing over and over. So
it doesn't change that much from the basic setup later on in the game.
no, they just I can't really add much to that. Yeah.
All
It
right.
doesn't really change all that much. You just
Okay.
I wish I could add more to this, but we pretty much have covered the.
All right. Well,
And
if we've
four
covered all
parts.
if we've covered all we need to cover, like,
Yeah, there's no point dragging this out.
yeah, it's like I said, I was kind of limited in my playtime, but I managed to pick up
Yeah.
much. Anyway, so pricing. So we've got two tiers here. You can buy the base game for $20, or you can get it with the soundtrack for $30. The soundtrack on its own is $10. Like,
The soundtrack edition is currently on sale.
I'm like, probably. I'm not sure if that's probably a get the bundle, get the discount kind of deal. We've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't see how much because I can't add it to the. Well, here's the bundle info.
It's $24.80. It's a 17% discount, so it's about $25.
Like, let's see, $25 for the package. I'm like, this is a bit on the subjective side because mechanically the game is functional. Artistically, the game is drop dead gorgeous. I'm like, in terms of gameplay, it's got something interesting going here. It's just, if it depends on how big of a fan of difficulty you are, because it's not quite say masochistic level of it's not like say quite Super Meat Boy levels, but it approaches that.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
it's like, and you'll definitely have to invest some time to get good.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to play this like casually or lightly, I'm like, no, I'd say pass on it, especially for 25, $30. Like, if you're willing to invest the time needed to play the game, I'd say go for it. Like, getting the soundtrack on its own, honestly, it's one of those, like, I'm having trouble remembering anything about it.
It's a nice soundtrack.
Yeah,
The
that's kind of the
my
problem when you go
characters.
atmospheric. It's nice in the context of the game, but trying to remember it outside, I'm like, a bit difficult.
Yeah, nothing really reaches out and grabs you.
Yeah. So overall, you know, a very solid effort. It's just, wasn't exactly my cup of tea.
Yeah, I didn't hate the game, but
I
there were
think,
just
it's like I think the thing that really aggravated me the most was the timer. Like, I think
Yeah.
this game would have been better had exploration been the focus instead of this more. It's like this game really seemed to be more just crying out for a Metroidvania style design rather than this weird level to level progression.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, they expect you to go out and explore, but you're limited in how long you can do that.
Yeah.
And if you run out of time and don't have any shelter, you're gonna die.
Yeah, and you're gonna lose opportunities to explore until you regain your karma.
Yeah, the game punishes you for making that effort, what you need to do.
All right, I think that'll about do it for Rain World here. Be sure to tune in a little bit ahead of time for Voodoo Vince Remastered. And until then, I wish you good gaming.